Part 2. Pamphlets were distributed by railroad agents all over the US and Europe. Every mass circulation newspaper carried exaggerated advertisements, translated into many languages. They turned up in bars and barber shops, in doctors' waiting rooms, in the carriages of the London Tube and the New York subway. Following the defeated homesteaders' trail, we came to a sign for a small town on the far side of the river. In close-up, the place was less attractive than it should have been. A rambling string of bungalows and trailers with a general store, a gun shop, and a dingy cafe. When stable, high-pressure Arctic air settled in over the prairie, it brought the blue sky days without a cloud to insulate the earth at night. There was almost no precipitation, with no shelter belt of trees to divert it. The north wind raked the homesteads, whistling through every crack in the amateur carpentry, prying off the tar paper sidings. The temperature dropped and went on dropping past zero into the tens, 20s, 30s, 40s. There was a wind, fire, lightning, and ice. As the line advanced, it flung infant cities into being every dozen miles or so. Trains needed to be loaded with freight and passengers, and it was the essential business of the railroad company to furnish its territory with customers to create instant communities of people whose lives would be dependent on the umbilical cord of the line. The company said, "Let there be a city," and there was a city. It was to see what the homesteaders had been promised that Mike Wollaston and I were looking for his grandfather Ned's homestead. We had earlier spent an hour in the wrong township, on the wrong half section where the U.S. Geological Survey map appeared to have been drawn by a doodling fantasist. Now we were definitely on Ned's place, but the homestead was missing. But the half-built new towns, in which the typical business was a single-story shed with a two-story trompe-l'oeil facade tacked on its front end, were architectural fictions. Their creators, the railroad magnates, speculatively dawdling a society into existence, were like novelists. Rain suddenly chose to come back to the prairie in 1926. Ned Wollstone was now 54. His wife Dora was 62. They were grizzled, lonely, and undeceived by this show of kindly weather. We gave up and decided to tack east, then south, then east again, as the road makes 90-degree turns along the section lines. One can no longer get really lost on the prairie. These roads, with their slavish devotion to the cardinal points of the compass, have converted the land into a full-scale map of itself.